Hi, I'm Jay Johnson with windowpurchase.com. This is an interactive learning center to teach people more about windows, and typically the most common thing I see is people are getting multiple quotes, thinking or assuming that they're comparing apples to apples, when really all they're doing is comparing one price to another. And without getting the proper performance ratings and getting into components and getting into ingredients, and then of course warranties and type of installation, there's so many things that get missed. I've consulted now since 2001 with probably close to somewhere between 10,000 and 12,000 clients. And I'm still waiting for the one house I walk into where somebody actually has the right questions to ask. So I've published a few books on windows. This one that came out in 2012, What Window Companies Don't Want You to Know. This is getting a complete makeover this year. It's going to be featured at the Tucson Book Fair Festival in March of 2020. And redoing the inside. It's going to still have the same title, but the subtitle is going to be New Interactive Paperback and Website Edition. So you can follow the specific list of questions, and you can go watch the videos, and it really puts two and two together along with pictures, and it really helps you understand more about what you need to be looking for and what you need to be asking when these companies come out. This video, I'm going to try to keep it short, but this is a subject that's coming up more and more now, at least in Illinois. I know they're pushing for this coast to coast, and it started about 8 to 10 years ago, and it's going to be on Egress. E-G-R-E-S-S, not egrets, like the bird, Egress. And typically what that has to do with, and I'm going to use the double hungs for an example. Egress has to do, when you open this window, as high up as it'll go. If you're in a community, township, or state that requires that it meets egress, if it's on the first floor, this has to meet 5.0 square feet so somebody can get in and out. If it's on the second level, then it's got to meet 5.7. Now some townships have a rule where you can replace like with like in existing frame, in which case, as long as they have a double hung now, you put a double hung back in, everybody's good to go. Some townships require the window must meet egress. So in some cases, you're going from a double hung window that goes up and down to either a window that slides left and right or a window that cranks open like a casement. They may not be the style window you want, but unless you cut a bigger opening and enlarge that opening big enough to accommodate for a double hung so that it meets true egress, if your township requires that, then it is what it is. Now the in-between is this. Some townships say you can replace like with like, but you cannot make the clear opening smaller. So let's get specific. If I'm a village inspector for this particular town, let's just say town A, and this existing window, the old window, whether it's 2 years old or 20 years old, doesn't matter, he's going to tape measure from here to here, the narrowest spot, and he's going to measure it in the shortest spot possible. Then when the new window goes in, he or she, depending on who the inspector is, they're going to measure it again. And if you've made the clear opening any smaller than their existing window, well, it's going to be a bad day because somebody's going to have to buy new windows. And there's more and more villages doing that now if they enforce that rule. Now, there's a myth on the market. A lot of companies that don't sell vinyl try to convince you that their window has the slimmest profile on the market and that it basically meets every code on the planet, which is usually a bunch of BS, usually. So I want to show you something here. This is a frame of a double hung window, and this is a pocketed sill. You can see the bottom here. You can see the pocket here. When you put it up against the same framing system on the side, but now you see the slope sill, this would allow for more height to possibly meet egress. Just that little bit of difference can make all the difference. But both this side and this side are actually the same width. Now, some of the companies, or should I say manufacturers, that are thinking outside the box and being more unique have a utility patent on a window that they designed that gives you not only a slope sill, but also a very thin profile on the side. So if I use this piece of wood trim just for scale, and I put it over this, that frame almost disappears on the side. If I take this frame that has a sloped sill and I put the trim here, you can still see quite a bit of frame. Now, even though this window is generally used in most places and it's very popular, sometimes this window, because of the width here, or this window, because of the width here and or the height here, won't quite make the grade. So if you're in a township that says you cannot make the clear opening smaller, if you have a double hung window now and you're putting a double hung window back in, you need to be crystal clear on exactly whether or not this opening here is going to shrink. And if you're using this window, which is very rare, and it's a hybrid window, because what they've done is they've made the main frame fiberglass, but the sashes that go up and down vinyl. This will meet egress in most cases, and if it doesn't meet egress, it certainly will not make the clear opening smaller. So who's pushing for this? My understanding across the nation is fire departments for escape and entry. And it doesn't matter if you're a 400-pound person or you're in a wheelchair. They don't care. The rules are the rules, and if they're enforcing this in your village, it doesn't matter whether or not you can get in and out the window. This is what they're pushing for more and more. Fortunately, so far I find, at least in the areas I live, that most townships allow you to replace like with like an existing frame. Anyway, that's my tip of the day. I hope it helps, but I get so many questions on egress, and I find that a lot of companies coming in to consult with the clients aren't even bringing it up. And the last thing I would want a client to do is go out and purchase windows from a company that aren't even going to meet they're not going to even pass code, because now you have a bunch of windows that you also have to replace because the inspector might say, these ain't flying. You got to go out and replace them again. Anyway, that's my tip of the day. If you like my videos, my website, windowpurchase.com, please subscribe. I'm Jay Johnson. Thank you.